Hey fans, welcome back. George Young now joined with Doug Plemmons of the boys varsity getting set for the first round of the state playoffs tonight, Coach. And past few weeks, it has been a tough road for you guys. You lost 3 out of 5 to end the year. Tough competition. You had East Henderson win the conference tournament, a game that you saw right here on the Franklin Panther Sports Network. And you kind of called it in some interviews that we did earlier on in the season about North Henderson, East Henderson, some of those teams getting hot to end the year. That's what happened. You had North and you had East in the finals. Let's talk about tonight, Coach. You start a new season. You start the playoffs, so everybody's 0-0. Doesn't really matter the records. You're hosting a West Charlotte team that is the defending state champion. They won it last year in 2022. Got a sub 500 record, but if you look at some of the teams they have played maybe one of the toughest schedules in the state.
I think it is the toughest schedule in the state, and they play in a 3A, 4A split conference. And even the 4A schools in their conference they'll contend for the state champion in the 4A bracket. So we know what we're up against. We're not fooled by the record. I think the coach probably has done this on purpose, knowing that he was going to play in a tough league and not worrying too much about his overall schedule, but worrying more about competition, knowing that would favor him in the playoffs.
Heading into a matchup with a team that you haven't played before, you've seen, I'm sure, some film, scouted them. They've got a lot of size coming in, a couple of guys over 6'10". How do you prepare for a game like this? And I'm sure they're kind of in the same boat with there's not a lot of familiarity.
As you say, we've watched a lot of film. You take the big kids out of the equation, and they're very similar to a lot of teams we've played this year. They run a kind of a dribble drive offense, which is a lot of penetration to the middle, and they shoot the ball out of the corners. They look for help from defense and then kick it out for shots. Very similar to East Henderson, very similar to North Henderson, with the exception of the size. The two big kids, they normally play them separately. They don't play them together. They're not that mobile as far as coming away from the basket. So hopefully we can surround them with some defense and then do a good job of boxing them out once the shot goes up.
One thing that you do have going for you tonight, long trip for West Charlotte, 3 hours, maybe 3.5, 4 hours on an activity bus going over 2 or 3 hills. We call them mountains. They probably call them the Rocky Mountains, coming from the lowlands. But that's something that's different this year, because normally in years past, we are the ones that have to travel the long way. We're kind of used to it. They aren't. Is that right?
That's true. If you look at their schedule, most of their schedule has probably been within a 30-minute radius. Living in Charlotte, there's a huge number of schools that they can play and do play. With us, like you say, travel's not really an issue. A lot of our conference games are over an hour away, and so we don't really talk much about it because it's just part of what we have to do. But we wish them a safe trip up. But at the same time, it'll be it's as far west as they can go and play a 3A school. So we're looking forward to possibly using that as an advantage. We'll see. And then, of course, our gym we feel like is an advantage. The fact that we hope our fans will turn out tonight, and I believe they will. And we've had great home crowds all year long. And this is just, an additional game that we get to play at home, earn the right to play based on our rankings in the state. So we're going to try to use that to our advantage also.
You've got a 24-game home winning streak on the line tonight, too, Coach. And one thing you told me before we did the interview, maybe the most healthy you've been all year.
We are healthy. We've gotten through a lot of the cold and the sniffling and coughing, and physically, we don't have anyone with any, really no minor injuries. Even we got a few kids that are still getting treatment, but that's just normal over a long season. But we're looking forward to this. As you mentioned, the home streak is on the line. But we feel like this is kind of a sometimes you have a team win. You need a team to step up to get a big win. This is more about our program. We want to show that we belong in the conversation when it comes to the better teams in the western part of the state.
Well, as always, Coach, good luck tonight. Hopefully we're talking to you down the road.
I hope so, too.
That's Coach Doug Plemmons as we get you set for tip-off. Coming up in just a few moments. Stay with us.